presenting a case of progressive pulmonary infiltrates. So we have a 6-year-old boy who was referred to us from Trichy Government Hospital with history of fever, cough, and breathlessness for 1 month, with history of loss of weight and appetite for 1 month, no history of TB contact. TB workup done outside was negative. His past history at birth, he was first born of twin gestation, birth weight 1.8 kgs, admitted in NICU for clinical sepsis for 2 weeks, treated with antibiotics. And at that time, MRI done had showed periventricular leukomalacia. Child at 1 year was noticed to have mild squint and also developmental delay, for which he had taken OPD treatment. At 2 years of life, he developed bilateral cervical adenopathy and was treated with antibiotics. At 5 years, he had recurrent episodes of cough, fever, and breathlessness, for which he was treated with antibiotics, but no admissions. 6 years, he developed progressive breathlessness, which was progressing since the last 1 month, and he had cough and fever. This was the X-ray with which he was referred to us, and bilateral reticulonodular shadows, which a provisional diagnosis of miliary TB or interstitial lung disease was made, and he was referred for further treatment. There was a CT done outside, and we can see bilateral alveolar and reticular and pan-segmental interstitial thickening, which is suggestive of interstitial lung disease. Now at ICH, when he came to us on general examination, he had clubbing, he had squint, there was no lymphadenopathy, height and weight were less than normal for age, and vitals, he had tachycardia and tachypnea and hypoxia on room air. And examination had showed retractions with basal crepitations, hepatosplenomegaly of 10 centimeters liver span, and cardiovascular examination, systolic murmur with loud P2, suggestive of a congestive cardiac failure. Initial investigations done showed a hemoglobin of 10.7 with the total count increased leukocytosis with ANC, high ANC 10,452. ESR and CRP were high, and eosinophil count was also high, 2,120. HIV was non-reactive, COVID PCR serology was negative, and hepatitis workup was also negative. TB workup was done for this child. MAN2 was negative, his gastric lavage for CB-NAT was negative, BAL done bronchial lavage, CB-NAT was negative, BAL culture had grown Pseudomonas, BAL cytology had shown a lymphocyte predominant cellular morphology, and IG was more than 2,500, AEC repeated was 2,570, and PCP-GM sustain was negative. Bedside screening echo was done, which showed mitral valve prolapse with moderate mitral regurgitation, dilated LA and LV with moderate pulmonary hypertension. There was no vegetations. This was the CT X-ray picture taken at ICH. As we can see, this reticulonodular opacities in both lungs in all the zones, progressive compared to the previous X-ray. We still considered miliary tuberculosis and ILD. So the CT taken in ICH, which we can see that there's been a progressive increase in the alveolar densities and also increase in the reticulonodular shadows in all segments of the lungs. To summarize, we have a 6.5-year-old child with cough, fever, and progressive breathless, clubbing, who presented with CCF, leukocytosis, raised ESR and CRP, TB workup done was negative, elevated eosinophil count, and IG with X-ray showing reticulonodular shadows suggestive of either miliary TB or ILD, and CT also suggestive of ILD, and BAL culture growing Pseudomonas growth. Now, with this history, what are the possibilities? If was considered miliary TB and the points in favor of chronicity, there's a loss of weight and appetite, fever with cough, and elevated ESR and CRP, X-ray and CT suggestive of miliary pattern. Our second provisional diagnosis was, differential diagnosis was interstitial lung disease, points in favor of chronicity, loss of weight, chronic cough with history of nebulization, CT showing bilateral reticulonodular pattern, and pulmonary artery hypertension. Now, hyper-AG was one of the differential diagnoses we had because he presented fever with cough and elevated IgE, elevated AEC levels, pulmonary infections with ILD. We considered primary immunodeficiency because of history of recurrent URI with LRI, failure to thrive is present, severe pneumonia, connective tissue disease because child had mitral valve prolapse with pulmonary hypertension and also an ILD picture. And finally, we considered infective endocarditis because of PEO and CCF. Now, the course in hospital, child presented with hypoxia. He required persistent oxygen requirement, and he had persistent fever spikes despite antibiotics. Empirical ETT was started. After starting ATT, he developed drug-induced liver injury, for which an alternative non-hepatotoxic regimen was started. Rheumatology workup done was negative. ANA, ANCA, anti-PR3, anti-MP came negative. And interestingly, there was spice organisms growth in various isolates were done. Pseudomonas, as I already mentioned, had already grown in the bronchial lavage culture. Acetobacter had grown in the blood culture. Citrobacter was isolated from sputum, and this was over a course of time, over a period of time. Enterobacter also had grown in blood, and buccal scrapings had shown Candida. PU workup was done, IgM viral was done, IgN scrub typhus was done, leptospira was done, all negative. And repeat echo showed no vegetations, which was ruling out infected endocarditis. And finally, to do a PID workup, we did immunoglobulin profile, which was normal. These were the serial investigations, and as we can notice, there has been a persistent leukocytosis, which is neutrophil predominant. CRP and ESR were persistently high, progressively increasing, and the other investigations, TB and SGOT, SGPT were high because of the DD, but it subsequently came back to normal after changing the regimen. This was the repeat X-ray taken, serial X-rays taken over a period of time, because he was not responding to treatment and he was progressively becoming more and more distressed. As you can see that there is a considerable increase in the number of the alveolar opacities in both lungs and also reticulonodular shadows. We can see the dot and comma pattern suggestive of ILD. CT taken had shown initial increase from the initial CT. There was a conglomeration of the initial alveolar opacities with also septal thickening in the peripheral layers of lung. There was no that could be noticed on the mediastinal window, and there's also no pleural effusion. What are the possibilities as of now? Could it be ILD? Yes, because child had hypoxia, child also had clubbing, progressive X-ray and CT findings with airspace opacities and reticulonodular shadows. We were considering lymphocytic ILD because the bar also had showed a lymphocytic picture. Could it be sarcoidosis? Yes, there was reticular opacities present. Mediastinal adenopathy was present as per the radiologist opinion. Child also had developed hepatosplenomegaly during the course, but the calcium was normal and ACE levels done were normal with the normal limits, and there were no extrapulmonary manifestations. Hyper IgE syndrome, there were no skin abscesses, there was no coarse facies, there was no skeletal deformities, and the Grimbacher scoring done was 24, which is less than 30, unlikely to be hyper IgE syndrome. PID workup finally done initially, immunoglobulin workup done was normal, so that rules out the B cell defect. B cell defect, yes, it is possible, but it could have happened earlier in life, less than 2 years, with other severe infections. So we were considering, looking back at the investigations, tracing all the previous reports, there was persistent neutrophilic leukocytosis. Now, whether it was a leukemia reaction kind of picture, or was it a qualitative defect in neutrophils causing an increase in the number, such as a phagocytic defect. So workup was done for chronic granulomatous disease. And this was the report. There was nil uptake of nitroblue and also DHR was first. So now to summarize the case again, we have a 6.5-year-old boy with cough, fever, and progressive breathlessness. TB workup was negative. Imaging findings were suggestive of ILD. PUO, rheumatology, and PID workup was negative. Polymicrobial isolates were present, especially spice organisms, not to be seen in normal children, and child also has history of treated with multiple antibiotics. There are progressive lung infiltrates on serial imaging and persistent neutrophilic leukocytosis, which gave a clue towards a qualitative or a phagocytic defect. And NBT, DHR were nil uptake, so we could make a diagnosis of chronic granulomatous disease with lymphocytic interstitial lung disease. We also kept in mind TB cannot be ruled out because in a country like India, where TB is tuberculosis endemic, we have to keep it in mind. So child was diagnosed with CGD with ILD, TB was also considered, and ATT was continued, antifungal course was given, and also a course of oral prednisone was started. This was the CT when he had worsened in the hospital stay, and this was a CT sent to us by a pediatrician at the Kolkata Government Hospital after the course of corticosteroids and antifungals. We can definitely see there's a resolution of airspace opacities and also reticulonodular shadows. So a few words on granulomatous lung disease in primary immunodeficiency. We usually think of immune defects leading to infections, but we don't think about immune dysregulation. The common PIDs associated with granulomatous lung disease are CVID, which is more common, and followed by chronic granulomatous disease. The disease has unknown etiology. It is currently thought to be due to a polymorphism in TNF gene, with leading to elevated TNF levels. Definition of GLD in PID is a presence of granulomatous and a lymphocytic proliferative pattern in lung. It can mimic sarcoidosis. Of course, we need to rule out the Mycobacterium tuberculosis and also non-tuberculous Mycobacterium. It presents with chronic respiratory disease, recurrent lung infections, and there is definite clubbing. On imaging, we can see hilar mediastinal lymphadenopathy, parenchymal nodules, and ground glass opacities. But the definitive diagnosis is made by lung biopsy. If not treated, child can progress towards progressive pulmonary fibrosis and respiratory failure. The treatment of choice is immunosuppressants, steroids, or other immunosuppressants like azathioprine, etc. There have been a case which have been published earlier of interstitial lung disease in patient with CGD. These were two such case reports which we could find. And this is the child currently, as of today. So he is fine, he's off oxygen, he's hale and hearty, and he's taken off medication, he's still on steroids. This video was sent by the father today.